It's time to get back to work on Connie Celica. God, you've got me saying Celica now, America. It's time to get back to work on Connie Celica, starting with this custom drive shaft from our friends at Xcessive Manufacturing. This is the part where I should be making a joke about my giant shaft, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to tell you about my new one-piece drive shaft from Xcessive Manufacturing. As a matter of fact, let's cut to some B-roll right now of Xcessive Manufacturing one of these. Now that you've seen how this beauty was made, I should explain a few things. First of all of Xcessive's drive shafts are custom built to your project, to your car specifications. So they don't just make these for beam swaps into old Celicas, they'll make them for anything. They're all new construction, you don't have to send them any core parts, so they use a brand new slip yoke on a larger 1310 U-joint. Same on the rear end, large 1310 U-joint here. They make them either out of steel tube. This is a 083 wall steel tube, or they can make them out of aluminum if you want to save some weight. They build these in about 5 to 7 days and ship them out within a week. So pretty quick turnaround. And if you're in a rush, they do have a rush program where they can literally get you one out like the next day. Obviously, I would assume there'd be a bit of a bump in price on that, but it shows you how committed those guys are to getting you the good stuff quick. So that's our new drive shaft. Let's see Pete throw it in there. Okay, Moose has been replaced by Mini Moose.
I don't know if that's a insult or compliment, DP.
I don't either, but let's go with compliment. So the front end of the shaft just slides into the old
like butter
J160 transmission there.
Oh man, looks like you guys are spot on with your measurement. Look at that.
We'd do something right.
Bam. Give me some bolts and we are solid. I'm going to call the drive shaft install done.
Yeah, looks perfect.
Does look perfect.
You nailed it, Xcessive Manufacturing. You nailed it. We're now moving on to swapping out the old clutch cylinder here for this new one that is an OEM replacement unit. So,
ooh, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's beefy, eh? It's that
iron
body.
Cast
yes.
Metal. Wow.
Heavy duty.
Feels good.
Means I can really clutch kick that thing hard. You may be asking yourselves why we didn't do this when we had the brake master cylinder and booster out, and we're asking ourselves the same question now.
I'm asking myself why. You know what, there's something holding it on the other side.
Okay.
Is there a clutch pedal in here still, DB?
It is. That could be
I'm gonna bet that it's still connected to the pedal.
Yeah, I haven't touched anything under there.
Bam. There's a little pin that holds this in place. Now, the slave should, or the master should come out here. Yeah, there we go.
All right. What are you complaining about,
It's always easy when things are done in the right procedure.
Oh, I see how it is.
Oh.
Look at that old beauty, eh?
Seriously, this is like a fully remanned unit.
Yeah.
Like it's got the same weight and girth, and
yeah.
It's a weird design, by the way, where they've got one stud on this side and then the other one is on the chassis.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
So why they do that, but
old school things are happening.
I'm not going to ask questions.
No.
I'm just going to install it. They always make these damn clutch cylinders like impossible to get at, A, and then B, a nightmare to install, so...
Just imagine if Moose was doing this job right now, though.
Oh, I can't imagine.
The sweat would be dripping, the swear words would be flying.
I think the swear words would be out of control. Oh, I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying. Oh, that sounded good.
Next job on our to-do list is the throttle pedal and throttle cable arrangement that we've got to sort out to made up to Beamsy up there. So the Celica has a floor-mounted pedal that goes to a rod system. Throttle, what would they call them? Throttle...
Like linkage almost?
Linkage, that's what they call it, throttle linkage, which is common from this era. So there was no cable on this car originally. I've stripped all the linkages out, so we're just left with this linkage style throttle pedal, which we're going to pull out. I've picked up this throttle pedal from an AW11 MR2, which I think is the same as an AE86 style pedal. So, you know, we're literally going to have to drill a couple of holes in the firewall, maybe build a backing plate with some like nuts on it that we can bolt this pedal onto. We're going to have to figure out where to position it. So some good old-fashioned thinking will have to be done here. Then I bought a AE86 non-cruise control throttle cable, which I think will be the right length to mate it up to Beamsy.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Game over.
Gonzo.
So let's have a quick peek and see. Oh, I guess I got to remove this whole assembly, but
Yeah.
we'll just move it out of the way here for a second. Actually, here.
I think you can pull it through on this side.
Can I?
Yeah, pull it straight through. There you go. Give her a yank.
I'm not the destructive moose type, you know?
Yeah, I
Trying to
know.
keep things
so gentle.
civil here. All right, so now our question is, if we were to try to even reuse these holes, I think the pedal's going to be too close this way.
Wrong.
So we're going to want to position it somewhere like that here.
Yeah.
See, there's a hole right here, DP. What is this for?
I don't know. That might
Because
that might be where we put the throttle cable through.
that's what I'm hoping. If we use this hole here,
nice. Yeah,
then I can position the pedal like that.
yeah.
This is kind of a hit and miss operation because until you have the seats and everything into it,
Yeah.
I think you're not going to know whether it's
Exactly where
perfect
you want
or
it.
how it fits and whatnot. But I think we can. It's what we'll do is we'll build a bracket off of here, I think,
Okay.
and just like move this over and support it. We'll make it like a 3-point connection here
Okay.
to the chassis, and that'll sit like that. And then we can figure out how well it works for you. There's also the question of now with this, where it's gonna rotate to 100% throttle.
Yeah.
So you may need to put like a
Stopper
stop
there,
yeah,
yeah.
a stopper in there, which
Yeah.
isn't a big deal too. That's something we can fab up.
So we've abandoned the throttle pedal setup, thinking that we really need the ITBs installed to figure out the routing of the cable and how all that needs
The
to
travel, how long it pulls in and out.
work. Yeah.
Before I go mounting that pedal up, you don't want the travel to be too much or too little, because then you're not going to have full ITB operation.
Yeah, we want these things to open 100%. So we're over here fiddling with this. We've installed this once before. Moose and I did back in my home garage. We can throw a link up into one of those corners there where you can go find that.
Top right.
Top right? Is that the top right? All right. You can go find that if you want to see it. But I had these cleaned by our buddy JP at Stripping Technologies down in Cambridge. He media blasted them, so they look super clean and spotless. Why don't we cut to that B-roll now? Look at that. It's like brand new. It looks better than brand new. Looks like it's been painted with like engine enamel or something. It's the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Look in the hole, Moose. Look in the hole. It's so clean in the hole. Now that you've seen them cleaned, we have to reassemble them, which is a bit confusing because I did it a long time ago, but I think we have a plan sorted out now. Pete's fiddling with this reverse downpull throttle linkage kit from SQ Engineering. They basically replace the factory throttle cam and linkage system, which is a bit convoluted, a bit complicated, with a simpler system.
Yeah,
more or
it just
less, right?
takes out one of the rods that would rotate that to the actual ITB, and it replaces it with this fancy
They call these a cam, I think.
cam. Yeah, that's
So
it.
this,
Yeah.
it's nice heavy-duty stainless construction, as is that bracket. It lets us route the cable in from the bottom, so it's a sort of a cleaner look to it. It's a more direct connection to the throttle too, so it should give better, pedal feel, better throttle feel.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Still got to go make some modifications to this though. So.
Yeah, we got to chop a little bit off of that, so we'll get to that. I also ordered a new TPS because, as you can see, this one is cracked. So I ordered a new one of those from our friends at Battle Garage Racing Services. They've got all kinds of OE Toyota stuff as well as performance stuff. I also ordered a new throttle cable from them which was the AE86 non-cruise control cable, which I think is the right length for this whole setup, but we'll find out soon enough. And I think that pretty much covers all the goodies that we're doing here, so let's just get to work.
Okay.
ITBs are bolted up, and Pete's just
this
testing the throttle cable setup here.
is a really nice setup. And it makes this pretty bolt on.
Simple, eh?
Really nice,
I like it. Nice design, Sam.
Now we'll see if we can get this all lined up here and get back to the pedal. And I feel like it's going to be a big job, DP.
That's why you're here, buddy.
I know, but
You know I can't do it without you. You gotta bail me out.
there's going to be lots of work here.
What are you waiting for?
Thinking. Sometimes you just think, you know?
All right, Brain. You don't like me and I don't like you. But let's just do this and I can get back to killing you with beer.
Okay, well, we've decided to use an existing hole in the firewall for mounting the throttle cable to. This guy right here.
We spent too much time. We thought we were going to go up here at first, over here, and now we're at a point where we just said we're going to send it and put it through here, as this kind of makes the most sense, and then we'll mock up the pedal to fit. And sometimes we overthink things.
Yeah.
And I'm chronically bad about that, so you just got to go for it, make it work, and if you fail, then you start all over again with some more holes in your firewall, right, Dave?
No, we're gonna patch them all up before paint anyway, so yeah, not too worried about it.
Alright, go on.
So this whole mess is what holds the cable to the firewall, right?
Yeah. On a, what was this, from an AE86.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're gonna try to make
That whole assembly
this work through here, and then figure out the pedal assembly there. What do you think, DP?
Looks good, man.
Yeah, and it didn't turn out to be all that difficult. What we did is actually we pulled the pin out of the plastic part of the pedal here, which now allows us to move the pedal up a little bit, which I think shortens the throw, but it's actually not a bad thing here. So we can get this pedal exactly where we want it. We've mounted the bracket here just on the bottom bolt with a bit of a extension to get it away from the firewall. Right now the issue is there's a hole where the other bolt needs to go. So once you get this welded up, we'll drill a hole, use another small little bushing in between, and that'll be nice and hard mounted there. Thankfully up here, everything's worked out with our cable connecting. It actually sits on the stopper underneath like it would from the factory, so that is good. I think all in all, this is a good start, and as a mock setup for now, it should get us going to where we need to be. So I'm happy with this. And the question is, who's going to do all the welding of the holes?
I think that's a job for Vin at NV Auto.
I think so, yeah.
We're going to have him put a roll bar and seat mounts in here, so
Yeah.
we'll add that to his to-do list. Moving on our to-do list, we're going to fit a battery up in the trunk now. I'm going to use a PC680, which I'm barely strong enough to lift with one hand, but
Pathetic.
only because I have bad tendonitis. This weighs about, I think they're around 9 or 10 pounds. So they're pretty darn light, and yet they're strong enough to crank over a 4-cylinder engine. So good battery for us. And it happens to fit nicely down in this little pocket we've got here where the old jack used to go. So we're gonna remove that bracket in a moment and then use this bracket, which Pete had in the trunk of his S14.
Still not coming up. There's still more spot welds. Where are they?
Switching to the moose technique.
Exactly.
Hammer it out, PT. Hammer
It's
it out.
done. It's hammered out. It's gonna.
Oh, yes. What a stubborn
When in
hole
doubt,
that thing was.
moose it out.
When in doubt, moose it out. We've got a new t-shirt design, everybody.
Yeah, holy. Now that we've cut that panel out, we're gonna mount our Odyssey battery, and I think what we're gonna do is something like this. Does that work for you, DP?
Yeah, that looks good, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
good. I'm gonna drill some holes. These should go a little bit easier. And then be done. And then you gotta run wires and all that stuff, but that's for another episode. We're not messing around with wires today. We're just drilling holes.
Pete, I see we're using a porting tool for drilling holes here. What's going on?
I don't have a drill. What are the angle
Like an
drills
angle
called?
drill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the air tool. So I don't have that. And we have no other way of getting a drill in here
It's
to
a tight-
drill
tight
holes
spot.
on the side,
Yeah.
except with this. And
Alright.
it's working.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue to do this. It makes a ton of noise.
All right.
But that's the only way we can do this right now.
All right.
Let's blab
Blow up the
more
microphone here.
zinging here. Oh yeah.
Tighten that bolt, Peter.
It's good.
It's fully tuned now.
Well, it looks tuned and it looks like it's mounted right, DP.
It does. It looks great. Yeah, I think that's the perfect spot for it. It's almost like Toyota planned for us to put a battery back there. I think that's a wrap on this episode. Next time, I think you'll see us fitting up the factory fuel tank, running some fuel lines, figuring out how to mount this fuel filter, which is also a fuel pressure regulator. So we'll show you what that's all about in the next episode. Not sure if Moose will be in that one. I think it might be me and PT again. Stay tuned though, Moose will be back soon, and we will make you some Moose t-shirts in the future, maybe Moose stickers even. If so, it'll be on our e-store. Go check that out sometime, would you? We like clean holes here at Speed Academy, and we like clean throttle bodies. So this was done with just walnut blasting and then...
And then a very specific glass bead, yeah, to give it that nice, even, smooth finish.
Man, it really does have a cool look to it.
Yeah.
That's gonna look awfully pretty on Beamsy. Paired up with that header.